Calm as a coiled spring held tight, this silent watcher stands tense before you. It seems to be waiting for something, but what is not clear.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I'm glad to see you well.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar. I don't come visiting fun. Who will? How you holding up?
There's a lot of call for the junk you sell, then.
Junk? What, I offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients.
Vapid fiction, along with a large helping of ham.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Until later, then.
Smells
Aye, the giant takes no...
I don't come visit your ton. Who will? Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget.
They lose themselves to ancient worlds. Lost in memory, present gone
And another
from sight.
Damien
Yet
was kind of
consumed by
cute, though.
history's foulest chapters.
He acknowledges your presence with a nod.
What are you waiting for, champ?
He rolls his eyes at you, then gets back to work. He looks at you,
Good joke. You got me.
Crying for lust. Is the great they want? Rotting.
She babbles breathlessly on, barely aware you're there.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy. You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard? Then you're an idiot.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn. And I without my compass.
Curiosity kills the cat. Or gets its
She
sense
babbles
of Fort
breathlessly on.
The bell rings a warning and the...
You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard. Then you're an idiot.
She babbles breathlessly.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn. And I without my compass.
You've got to pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka.
What do you want, tree stock?
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away.
Yeah, right.
And you can't
I'm too busy right now to arrest you.
If I can get Alexander...
But before you go, perhaps you can help us settle an argument.
All right about that. Right as
Thatcher here is one of my dearest friends, but she isn't the brightest.
Thatcher grins hello.
Our mate Boris got posted to Fort Joy for consorting with lizards, and Thatcher here still fancies a turn around the park with Loverick's lizard. I say she'd be sleeping with the enemy. What say you?
They look at you expectantly. Thatcher bursts out laughing. Eden goes bright red.
Get lost before I throw you in a cell for disrespecting a magister. 2 magisters. The magisters.
Thatcher doesn't look disrespected. Thatcher looks amused.
Who rings the bell?
Disrespecting one magister's enough. Go on. Get lost.
She turns back to her drink.
You've got to pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know?
The bell rings
If they can get
and the tide
Alexander,
is on the
they can
turn.
get any of us.
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilka.
What do you want, tree stock? Good.
She tips you a wink, then turns away.
Doesn't this room strike you as eerie? There's a chill in the air, a deeper darkness in the shadows. But, of course, I should hold my tongue and stand guard. All's well as long as my lord's coffers are safe.
Why do
Go
you
on,
shiver?
sun's out. You really want...
Enough, is it not?
As you approach the silken-robed noble, Ifan does a double-take and laughs in recognition. He pulls you to one side.
I know this man, and he's not at all what he seems. A moment.
Ifan bounds forward and embraces the man, all effusive greetings. As they part, talking animatedly, the man's beard slips sideways down his face. He's wearing a disguise. Ifan laughs as he straightens the beard. They chatter away for some time, using a guttural cant you struggle to understand. At one point, the man says something and looks over at you intently. Ifan waves his hand and laughs. The man hunkers down and seems to be sketching a rough map on the floor, using an apple, some playing cards, and a fistful of threads pulled up from the carpet. Ifan claps the man on the back and turns to leave.
Well, now we know the way to the sawmill. And we know Roos thinks I'm bringing you there as part of the Godwoken contract. Hear that? Roosts camped out at the sawmill.
Look out! I see a trap nearby. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
Weathered and rugged, the man sleeps soundly. He mumbles in his slumber.
There's bad things in the caves. Bad dwarf things.
His eyes flick wide open, but he's clearly asleep.
Blood and oil do mix, after all.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring into the distance. He's still asleep.
The island is ruined and doesn't have a name. Don't go there.
His eyes flick wide open, but he's clearly
There's no graveyard on the island. Stay away from the graveyard.
His eyes flicker open, but he looks like he's still asleep.
Sawdust and wolves, Mother. Sawdust and wolves.
His eyes open, but he doesn't see you.
Arcs for Lucian's Day sounds nice, Mother.
His eyes open, but he doesn't see you.
Leave me alone, Mother.
His eyes flicker open, but he looks like he's still asleep.
Get away from my chest.
He goes back to sleep.
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you. Of course it's not true.
I am under attack. For your safety, step away. Explosion imminent. Please stop. Bugger.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
Got a picture to trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away.
Who rings the bell?
And you can't be too careful, you know? If I can get Alexander and any of this.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
What the devil are you staring at?
Your beard, my lord. But he seems less lush somehow.
It's as lush as it's always been. Now turn your eyes on my treasures, not my person.
Yes, my lord.
Who rings the bell?
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
You've got to pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you
Who
know?
rings the bell?
If I can get Alexander and get any of this.
You're right about that.
Of
Right
course
as
it's
rain,
not
Hilka.
true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
for more, are you, dear? Fresh out of stew on this side of the bar, but make yourself at home and flag down Loverick if you're hungry.
I'm telling you, if they got nothing to hide,
Yeah? You're good with the Magisters caging anyone up that looks at them funny.
What is it? Unless you know something about the disappearances, leave me alone. I need to concentrate. What? And you think that's an excuse for me to stop trying? I'll never stop. Not until this matter is settled or I'm dead.
The elf straightens to...
I swore an oath. I won't turn my back on it. Not now, not ever. This is going nowhere.
Take that, sorcerer.
You're dead, Alexander. Alexander, you're dead. You have to stay dead until we say you're not dead anymore.
Here, missus. Alexander doesn't have to stay dead, does it? Hey, are you an elf? Whoa!
Cool. I think you look weird. See? Told ya. But don't worry, I'll revenge your death. Take that, sorcerer. You won't put a source collar on me, Dallas. I'm a big bad evil sorcerer and I'll kill you dead.
I hate this game.
Come on.
A skull. It's missing an eye. As far as locks go, this one's pretty macabre.
Dallas, get that sorcerer.
The carved figure is your touch.
will remain anchored here until I am needed once again.
As you approach, the silent monk cocks his right ear.
For security reasons,
again. And I think it's time to start repaying the favours. I could fetch some stuff you need, maybe. Ma always said I was a great runner. Up to you.
The angelic you no longer look...
Your fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
The kind that don't fancy starving.
The Magister smiles, but he does not make eye contact with you. He shifts his weight from the left foot to the right.
Thank the Seven I have Aldous to guide me in these times. He allows me to borrow a bit of courage from him when I need. It's true, what you say. It's just, our numbers dwindle, I'm hardly fit to protect. I know they disappear. Farewell.
As long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
There's one empty behind me. Perhaps there's still a chance.
Your maker.
you are, little egg.
Please! Why would I kill Lucian?
The lizard hangs from the gibbet, her face blooded and her scales discoloured. Her eyes are closed, but her tongue flickers as you approach.
Welcome to Driftwood, Godwoken.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold appearing from beneath the swollen lid.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Very well then, cut me down. There is work to be done. Or indeed you could stand there gawping as if your master had just ordered you to fly. Whatever fits your purpose, my dear.
The Meister bares her teeth, stained a deep pink by her blood, and growls.
Melody is unfortunately mistaken. I cannot train you, but I can certainly help you on your path, as long as I am free of this rope. Because along with torture and interrogation, the Magisters found space in their schedules to purge me, that's why. They spent quite some time at it, too. Apparently I was a rich vein to be mined, and now I hang powerless as any butchered carcass.
The lizard grimaces, shifting awkwardly.
I am in intense pain, Evergreen. You insufferably stupid. As if there was any doubt. Oof. Give us obvious, Godwoken. You are whippet thin, implying you've been a captive. Your wrists have seen the sun, but your neck has not, so you sported a collar, not shackles. Thus you escaped Fort Joy. After an escape, any sane creature would rest, but the bags under your eyes indicate you haven't. Why not? You must have been chased. Thus you must have been important. No one important escapes a prison without help, and no one frees sorcerers bar the Seekers. They thought you were worth saving, and thus I surmise you are Godwoken. Now an important person does not come to... Be quick about it, before the Magister realizes their prize catch is about to slip through the net. Excellent. Now, if you'd be so kind as to gut that startled-looking Magister, it would be much appreciated. I must secure my home before they do any more damage.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Hurts, doesn't it?
and sorcerers. There's no point, Woken. You're fine as long as you don't go wandering.
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe.
The Meister turns to you, her eyes wide with worry.
Oh, pardon. I'm so sorry. How could I have forgotten? Thank you so much. Thank you for rescuing me after they had already strung me up. After they had tortured me for days. After they...
She stops mid-shout, descending into a fit of coughing, wheezing, and groaning. She glowers at you as she slowly regains her composure.
If we are quite finished with politeness, there is so much to do. Enthusiasm? On a weekday? My word. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen Godwoken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, Godwoken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the magic pay as much attention to art as they do to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall. I pray my instructions will not be too technical for you. Push. Your talent for following simple instructions fills me with wonder and pride. Now, kindly go to the vault and enter the combination. I shall call it out as you go.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, Godwoken.
Ancient rooms,
Feel
weird
free to look
contraptions.
about while I
This
catch
place
my
is
breath.
an Arcanist's dream.
Come speak to me when you wish to proceed. And try not to break anything in the meantime.
Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken? Sarcasm, my girl, is not one of the seven. No, becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility for all the races. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use her power for anything else. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then inhale the smoke. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Sauce in the glowing fountain. Ritual in the tome by the bookcase. Even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a Voidwoken would be even more inconvenient. So if you wouldn't mind...
The Meister points sharply to the ingredients cupboard.
And do not lose anything.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order. After a quick rummage, you spot the You gather up the black root.
Are you simple? Perform the ritual. Ingredients in the cupboard, ritual in the book, sauce in the fountain.
As you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
This deepest recess of my soul. But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Bathed in the half-light of these starless barrens, you spot a figure you could only describe as a second self. It looks haggard and weak, its very voice but a feeble echo of your own.
Sabille, come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am. Look me in the eyes.
The apparition clasps your face in its shaking hands. You suddenly feel your eyes tingle. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color, then fade back into their accustomed spectrum.
Blind eyes, shine brightly. Speak the spell and see. Please, speak the spell.
Gone is the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the god Tis Endelius in all his spectral glory.
You know me, don't you? I saved you from drowning. I blessed you, made you powerful. And now I've come to seek some power in return. Your God-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. May as well make...
Tis Endelius nourishes himself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feast deep down inside yourself.
Ah, yes. Just what I needed. I tell you, dying just doesn't become a god. The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We're battling for our very survival. It's a battle we're losing, and should we truly lose, all will be cast into oblivion. To save us both, as a matter of fact, you must realize, Sabille, that our fates are now as one. Just as us together, we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the Void, we stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now. That means there is but one place we can go, the Well of Ascension. It most certainly will be. The Well of Ascension is a lake, a pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave them up freely to create the first divine. Each of us donated half of that which makes us gods. To bathe in the lake is to become our chosen. That is where the road to divinity leads, and you must be the first to reach it at all costs. I know. Or did one must never end. The void is stronger than ever. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in the source of the Seven, but to take it. all of it. Only she who claims everything will be everything. The Void's doom, this world's liberator. I hope you understand them to their full extent. The other gods must either bow to you, or be undone. But of course that is what they are saying to their own God-woken as we speak. We both know they won't bow, just like we both know you will never bow to them. Only one can become a god strong enough to safeguard our world. One, at the expense of all others. So make no mistake, Sabine. Chances are the road to divinity will be paved with dead gods. Their blood on your blood-red hands. But don't let that dismay you, for these sins will be washed clean by the knowledge you committed them to save all of existence. To save your kin, and your loved ones, and the world they live in. They will be at your mercy, which is vastly preferable to you being at theirs, wouldn't you agree? So fret not, but revel in the promise of the lake. I will lead you there when you are ready, when you've become a true master of the Source, and speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source like only a God-woken can. And we—
Hoarse laughter rolls and echoes.
You flatter me, Sabine. But if all I had to do was give, you would long ago since have received. We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first, you must learn to channel the Source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek masters of the Source. You must make them teach you, so that you may become a master in turn. So return to Rivellon and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to share with you their deep-seated bond with the Source. Once you have, you may return to me here. Something that will make you understand that for a god, there is precious little difference between the living and the dead. Source is. You have the vision of a god now. Eyes that can see spirits, the souls of the dead made manifest in Source. Speak the spell during your peregrinations and you will see them. Where the dead lie, the dead linger. And so much more. But I'm no longer who I once was, bound to you as I've become. I will teach you what I can, but the knowledge that will expand— Best of luck, Sabine.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
She sighs impatiently as you hack up the last of the green smoke.
You can't channel enough Source? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps? if I were looking for a master of mirth, you would be ideal. Alas, there are no masters of source here. The river of my source has been dammed. My link to the font from which it flows, severed. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. You will not be there long, I assure you. There is only so much you can glean from a twisted mind. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me at least some of this rings a bell. Your focus, your only focus, must... The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource, but do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A godwoken in my presence. You honor me. I am the Meister's apprentice. I study under her, but I do not learn. I hear tales of the ritual, of what lies beyond. Such wonders, such powers. I decide to pursue them myself. Meister tells me it cannot happen, that I am not godwoken. But in my heart, I know I'm special. I try. I burn the root. I breathe the smoke and it burns me back. No air fills my lungs, only fire. When the darkness falls, I cannot cry out. I leave my life behind with a shameful whimper.
The spirit looks at you regretfully.
It is hard to hear of such power and not covet it for yourself. I lie to myself and convince myself that I am special. But I am not special. I am dead.
Quercus, what are you looking at? Egad, stop gawking at the shield. You ought to be quite used to such journeys into that stone realm by now. Meanwhile, the acorn draws nearer. I read through some tomes I saw that cranky old lizard carrying. Some fascinating leads, but nothing like the power we need to stop the Knights of Dre and their wicked plot. Our gargantuan friend is easily impressed. Wait until it learns that I'm a knight, a scholar, and a wizard capable of saving the world.
No, of course it knows that already, Quercus. Yes, I'm aware it's the entire basis of our partnership. No, I most certainly do not feel the need to return the compliment. I owe our shield my life several times over. I hardly need to grovel and thank it each time. I'm sure it knows I appreciate it. Now, if you're quite finished ogling your favorite long-legged scratching post, we need to get on and save the world already.
The Meister sits slumped in her chair. You notice that some of her scales have dropped to the floor.
What news? Can you channel enough source? Are you powerful enough to proceed? Then why, pray tell, are you wasting both my time and your own?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
I think that lunatic Siva is loose again. We won't be so gentle when we catch her this time.
Smells worse over
Damn
here
it.
than a
Magister
dozen raw
Raymond.
eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.